Hello all, this is Mr. Warren again. Welcome to Ecology for second year. Today we're going to first of all go over a little bit of last week's homework, and then we're going to move on to looking at how we look at very, very small things and what are those very, very small things. Okay, so to begin with, let's have a look at your work from last week. So last week I gave you the worksheets, and the homework was to basically have a look into these 7 life processes. Hopefully you watched the video that helped you understand better. Okay, so last year we looked at some of these already. We looked at nutrition, when we looked at the digestive system, we looked at movement, when we looked at the bones and the muscular system, we looked at respiration in the respiratory system, and obviously sensitivity in the nervous system. Excretion is kind of the end result of nutrition, but it also includes everything else as part of the respiration, breathing out the CO2 waste, as well as visiting the toilet for the digestive system. And then we'll also be looking at, later in the year, we'll be looking at reproduction and a little bit about growth. Okay. So we have seen these before, so it should be a little bit of a review and looking at the plants as well. Okay. Today, however, we're going to be looking at microbes or microorganisms. These are the single-celled organisms, and it's on page 26 and 27 of your textbook. So if you do want to have a look, please do as we're going along. So first of all, what is an organism? An organism is another way of saying living thing. So we're looking at very, very small things that are doing all of Mrs. Grin. So they're moving, they're respiring, they're sensitive, they're growing, they are reproducing, they're excreting, and they are searching for nutrition. We're only going to be looking at a couple of them, and we'll go into them in a little bit more detail later. But first of all, I'd like to go into how we can see these things, because they're very small. We cannot see them with the naked eye, without help, basically. So the first thing is we use microscopes, and microscopes help to magnify these small images. Okay, so they take very, very small things and they make them bigger. The one that we're going to be looking at and we're going to be using later in the term, if and when you come back to school, is this first one called the light microscope. Now, the light microscope does exactly that. It's a microscope that uses light. Okay, we don't need any other power. The other type, however, does need power, and a lot of power. It needs a lot of power because they are sending out electrons. Now, electrons are part of an atom, which is the smallest of small parts which everything is made of. And an electron is very, very small, and it gives us much, much more detail. So we do not have one of these in the school. They're incredibly expensive. So research centers and universities generally have these. We do not. So let's have a look at the light microscope and the TEM, the transmission electron microscope, which is in the middle. These two, they have some things in common, and they have similarities that they need to have a specimen. Now, a specimen is the thing that we're looking at. Okay, so it needs to be very, very thin, and it needs to be thin so the light can travel through. So what we need to do is we need to look from one side, and we need a light on the other side. The light will travel through the specimen and into whatever we're looking at. This means that we can't see the surface, we can't see the outside, but we can see what's inside, and we can see the general shapes if it's very, very thin. Okay. Now, the electron microscope on the right, that's slightly different, and that's an SEM, which is a scanning electron microscope. And what that does is it has the specimen, and the electrons go over the specimen. And that means that we can see the outside, but we can't see what's inside. Okay, so let's go into a little bit more detail of what we can see. So we have the three types of microscope. And the first microscope, the light microscope, if we use our blood and we cut our finger, we take some blood and we look at it through the light microscope, this is generally what you're going to see. And this microscope can make things look 1,000 times bigger. Okay, so if something was 1 millimeter wide, it would look like it's 10 meters wide. So the fact that these in this image is so small, still it means that the blood is actually mega tiny. Okay, so this can do it up to 1,000. The electron microscope, the one in the middle, that, remember, we go through the specimen. So again, looking at blood, this is what a blood will look like using the TEM. And the final one is the SEM, which looks at the scan, so we can see the blood shape from the outside. Okay. Now these, we're looking at a much bigger image because they can go up to 1 million times. Okay, so that means a tiny micrometer can go to almost a kilometer wide. So again, we're looking at very, very small things. Now, in the school, we have a microscope which looks a bit like this. As you can see here, we put this end, we have the specimen, and then it goes in through the machine, and the machine will basically look at the surface. So this is a small SEM, but it's basically an electronic microscope. Okay. However, what I will show you now is an example of that microscope and what it looks like. So we can look at my face, and we're looking at my cheek, and as we get closer, we start zooming in. So we get to about 100, 200, 300. And we keep going up until we get to around 900 to 1,000 times, and we can see there the individual hairs of my cheek. Okay. Not something you particularly like looking at, but that's basically the power of what we can look at. Okay. So that's how we look at them. We have the three different types, and they have similarities and differences between them. Okay, part of your homework will be to do a little bit of research and look at how they're the same, how they're different for each of the microscopes. So we use microscopes. Why do we use them? Well, we use them to look at microorganisms. At the beginning, I said this was micro meaning very, very small, and organisms meaning alive. So very, very small things that are alive. The first thing that we're going to study is going to be fungi. If you have one, it would be a fungus, many fungi. And basically fungi, we have a couple of types. The first and most common type, they have hyphae. Now hyphae is in the fungus. In the picture we can see the mushroom, and inside we have the hyphae, and it's kind of the roots and inside the main mushroom and the reproductive structure. And what that does is it allows them to reproduce by using spores. Now, spores are tiny seeds, and that's generally what the fungus will release into the wind, and it will blow off and spread the fungus to other places to reproduce. So that's the first type. The second type is called yeast. And now yeast does not have hyphae. These are yeast have little balls, and they reproduce by budding. Now, as we can see, they have individual yeast, and on the left-hand side, we can see that tiny ball growing out of it. And that's what budding is, okay? So budding is where it grows a new yeast from the original, okay? So it's important to remember that the original stays the same and it uses the energy to grow a new yeast, and that's budding. So the fungi, we have two. We have some that have hyphae and we have some that don't. If they don't have hyphae, they are called yeast. Okay. So the second type we're going to be looking at is the bacteria, or one bacterium. Okay. Now these are the smallest microorganisms. Okay. And they are very, very small, and we find them everywhere. There are many kinds, many shapes and sizes, and they all look slightly different, and they act in a different way, and they have a different purpose. Now, these will reproduce by splitting in two. This is different to the yeast. With yeast, they grow a new microorganism. With bacteria, they split in two identical new bacteria. So with bacteria, there is no mummy and child. They both become new mummies. Okay. And bacteria can be helpful. For example, they help us digest our food. Last year, we talked about the enzymes in our stomach that help us break things down, and bacteria is in that. So some bacteria is bad, of course, but mostly bacteria is very helpful. Okay. In third year, we'll be studying about nitrogen, and there's a bacteria that helps us collect nitrogen from the air. So that's, again, helpful. So at the moment, viruses is a key word. We're obviously talking about the coronavirus. The key thing to remember is a virus is not a living organism. Why is it not living? Because of Mrs. Gren, the only thing it does is reproduction. Basically, it uses other organisms like a factory. It inputs things and they have to reproduce inside the cells. And viruses, again, come in lots of shapes and sizes. Okay, coronavirus at the moment looks very similar to influenza, the bottom center. They look very similar, that they have the proteins on the outside. Viruses are covered in oil. They have like a coat of oil, and that protects them. Inside, they have all the information. They have the DNA, but on the outside is oil. This is why washing your hands will kill them, because oil is broken apart by alkalinic things. Alkaline basically means the pH, the per hydrogen, is higher than 7 or 8. So most times when we use our washing our hands, we're looking at a pH of 8, maybe 9, some of the stronger are 10. Okay, so that's why we asked to wash our hands quite often. Okay, so that's a quick introduction to basically microorganisms. Your homework assignment for this week is to complete this homework worksheet. Please take your time, do a little bit of research with this. It's due on Friday the 1st of May. And one other thing, it's important that you write your own sentences. Please don't just copy my notes. Okay, the first question, for example, is worth 4 points. If you copy my notes, you'll get a maximum of 3. You won't get the 4th point. Okay, the same for the bottom. Question number 4 is worth 2 points, a maximum of 1 point. If you use your own words, you get 2 points. Okay, so that's the assignment. Same as last week. If you have questions, please send me an email or contact me online. Okay, so please, everyone, stay safe by staying at home.